right, let's get it started at number 70. Number 70 I've had in my collection for 9 years. The game is called Versailles. You are basically moving around this giant board. The giant board is just a giant rondel. And you're moving one meeple at a time, sometimes two if you have these little abilities here. And you're getting the action on that board according to how many meeples you have in that spot. So again, and they can only move in a clockwise manner, so you're always moving them round and round. You're gathering resources, you're getting garden tiles, you're building your garden. The garden's going to look different every time because the wall can curve and go out. We had the craziest wall this past year that I thought this will never work, and we completed it. The game ends when either you complete the garden or I think it's King Louis visits the garden. When the king visits the garden, the game is over. And I've had the game end both ways. This game has always been fun for me for the longest. It was moving around the top 30, top 40 games. It slipped a little bit in recent years, but still, I love this game. I love this game because it is a strategy to think, okay, where can I move the meeple around? And every time you move it completely around, that's when Louis moves one step down. And there's so many steps, you're thinking, man, it'll never end that way. And it has. Several times it has. Some people end it on purpose that way by just moving their meeples around, getting King Louis to, or I'll say the king, I don't know if it's King Louis, but getting him to move further down that track just so you can end the game. I've done that before because I have the lead, but I know if they complete that garden tile, they're going to get the lead. So I better end the game now as fast as I can, if I can. I believe this game got a reprint. I see a different cover when I go to BGG, and I just never looked to see if it got a reprint. But either way, it is a really fun game and something that I have enjoyed for years. So that's why it's still on my list. Top 100, number 70, Versailles. At number 69 is a game about tea. Of course it is. It is Union. Union has gotten a reprint recently. It looks really nice. But I have the old version, which I enjoy. I've had it for 7 years. It has always been a top 100 game. It bounces up and down my list. But in Union, you have this like little bidding war where there's two bids that are kind of cheap. You can get things on the cheap, but you can get outbid. But then if you go mid-tier and up, you won't get outbid. Meaning if someone outbids you or whatever, you're still going to get it for that price. It's a higher price. So it's a game to say, okay, can I get something for cheap? Or do I want to head and secure the lowest high price in order to achieve it? And all of the tracks are very important. You're trying to establish a trade line with your meeples, your donkey, huts, tea houses, and whatnot. And you're trying to get as many people up the line as you can, because the further north you go, the more points you're going to be getting. And that's the thing. At the end of every round, when you receive these points, you can cash them all in. You can get victory points or you can get coin. What do you want? Now, the first couple rounds, you're getting nothing but coin. And then after that, someone's going to say, I want victory points. And the game ends in about 2 or 3 rounds later. That's how it always is. It's this slow burn, and then the moment someone starts grabbing victory points, you know there's only 2 or 3 rounds left. Because you can really start making some big victory points at that point. I've seen someone try to do half and half, but they never had enough money to get what they needed to score. But I like that. I like the way the game ends. Just that first person to blink starts the race off, and then it's just a race to the finish really quick. No other games I have in my collection play like that. Union, though, really great. It's one of the games where you can get negative points at the end. I have gotten some negative points at the beginning because you're borrowing money. The early rounds when you borrow money, you lose the most victory points. And in fact, this thing has a negative victory point tracker. It has a negative 100. So when you pass by the 0, you can go into the negative, which I guess people do a lot. I've done it once or twice. But either way, I'm glad this is readily available for anyone who wants to get a copy. It's excellent. It's worth your time. It's number 69 on my list. At number 68 is a game that's been in my collection for 7 years now. It's always been a top 100 game. It's Architects of the West Kingdom. It's a great game, worker placement, but every time you're placing workers in an area, the more workers you have, the stronger your action becomes. Now eventually someone's going to take you out, arrest you, turn you in for cash unless you can free them beforehand. But it's also a way to get meeples back off the board and then replace them around the area. And of course, it's the same thing about gathering resources. You need builders to build certain buildings. And then they also give you special abilities as well. Those cards do. I have all the expansions for this. I think it's a lot of fun. I even got the little promos for the Work of Wonders one. I built some promos. It was funny because I thought, hey, the last time I played this game, I lost terribly because I said, hey, what if you just make wonders? Now that's just a lot of resources. You have to use a lot of resources to build a wonder, and it takes a while, but they're big points. Well, by the time it took me to make one wonder, someone had made 2 or 3 buildings and basically equaled or exceeded the points I was making on that wonder. And plus, they were spreading out their resources and they had more versatility on what buildings they could build. Now, I'm glad that strategy didn't work because I may not have owned this game still. I did get the big box to hold all this in because it came with some extra promo cards that I wanted. But the big box doesn't all fit. And all the expansions, they say, oh yeah, everything fits easily. No, it's still a little, raised up just like it was in the smaller, way smaller box. I don't know how the bigger box has just enough room as the small box that I kept everything in. So the big empty box fail, my first fail that I've ever bought from a big box. But again, the extra promo pack. I'm a completist. I got to have it all. This game is so much fun when you are getting those actions become more and more powerful. And after a while, you may have to just take your men up on their own with anyone else there. Lots of strategies involved, especially now with the expansions. I do enjoy them. I don't think they complicate the game at all. And most times we do play with them all. Do we utilize them all, like the Scholars one? I don't know if people understand exactly how Scholars work. Those cards you can either tuck, I think it's under a character to increase their ability, or under on top of a building to increase its points or whatnot. But either way, though, it's such a fun game. I'll play with all the expansions, and it doesn't. And not everyone builds a wonder either when we bring them out either. But it doesn't matter. It just adds for more choices in the game, and that's what I love. So, Architects of the West Kingdom, my number 68. At number 67 is a game I've had in my collection for 9 years now. It is Stockpile. Stockpile's great. This is one of the other games I have that you want to be last, because then you get to see what everyone's doing. What you're doing is, first off, you're doing some bidding for certain stock and commodities if you have the expansions. Some of it's face down, some of it's face up. It's good, it's bad. You're trying to fool certain people into taking certain stacks that you might or may not be interested in. And everyone has some insider information that they're looking at to say, okay, do I want to keep this stock or is it going down? Then I want to sell. You want to buy low, sell high, all that fun stuff. And this is why going last is important, because you get to see who's selling what stock. Like someone decides to dump all their electric stock. You're like, oh, okay, it must be going down in value, because if it ever goes bust, you lose all of it. You don't get a penny for it. If the stock splits, then you can make double the money for it, by moving it over in your portfolio. This game is fantastic. I play with all the expansions, the illicit investments or whatever it's called. The third expansion, which I didn't really use that much, I have played with it every time now. It's like 5 cards for the 5 rounds. You can play 1 card per round. You cannot play 2. So if you don't play a card per that round, you can't play it. So finding the time when to play it. Sometimes I need both cards, but I can only play 1. But will my strategy allow me to play this one next time? Because you want to play all 5, but sometimes you can't. Unless you change your strategy to specifically, directly impact the card you'll be playing. But sometimes you may not want to do that. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in other people's head when we're playing that expansion. The only thing I don't use, and I should, is the special abilities little cards they have. You have these cards with these special abilities for the game. And I don't know, I've always wanted to put those in, but just never have, because the game is just fun as it is. The only little module I never use is the dice. You roll these dice, and it already presets what's going up and what's going down. You just don't know what stock. But like if you roll the dice and 3 things are going down, and you see people dumping their stock, then you obviously know it's got to be one of those 3, because I know there's 3 things going down the market. I think it gives you way too much information. And I thought, when I saw the dice at first, I went, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. But then as we got playing it, we just knew, oh, everything's going down this round. Or most things are going up, so we'll just keep everything. So it kind of eliminated that sense of mystery and inside information. Sure, you knew which stock was what, but if I can see what all is going up and what all is going down that round, I can have a pretty good idea, you can kind of guesstimate what the stock will be doing. Either way, this is a game I've had in my collection for years. I've always enjoyed it. I knew from the first time I played it for like 10 minutes at Gen Con, the guy wouldn't play the whole round with me, even though no one was at his booth. But I knew in those 10 minutes, yeah, this is a game I'm going to keep. And I still have it today. Love it. Stockpile, my number 67. Number 66 is enjoying its 5th year on my top 100 here, and it's right behind me. It is all the wonderful Marvel United. DC United will come out next year, and I will probably love it even more. Marvel United, it's like a co-op game where you're playing cards that help you and benefit the player next to you going next, because you get to use the symbols on their card too. In my opinion, every villain is different. I did play Batman Hush and found the characters to be different, so I'm excited to see what the DC United, Superheroes United, will have in store, like which villains will have a new gimmick that I've never seen before. To be fair, I couldn't believe that Marvel United, for 3 seasons, CMON kept coming out with new ideas. Very rarely did I see something that's like, oh, that looks the same. That's one of the big complaints I hear people say is like, all the bad guys are the same, all the heroes are the same. The heroes are not the same. Yeah, they use the same 4 symbols on a card, but their abilities are vastly different. Some of them can be the same, but a lot of them are very different. I love this game. This is a great game. My wife will play this game with me. My nephews will play this game with me. My nephew and I played through the whole set last year again, which was super fun. We'll have the Marvel music playing in the background, but I'm a DC guy, so when the DC United stuff comes out, hopefully CMON stays afloat and we can see a season 2, because there's a lot more characters that I didn't get to see this round that I want to see in the next round. But for me, getting to play with the DC characters, that's where it's really going to hit for me. And even though this has bounced up and down my list in the past couple of years, I expect it to make a big swing upward when I get DC United next year. But Marvel United, number 66. Number 67 is its, second year? So is it going to get the sophomore bump or slump? It definitely got the bump. It is Concordia. I kind of knew I'd like Concordia when I first played it. I played a little bit more. I've got the different maps. I did say that in my original review, you don't need all the maps. That was a lie. Using the different boards and the different games we've played does change up the game and where you're traveling. It's a little bit, we're unfamiliar with it because it's not a regular board. Usually for variety, you're going to shuffle all the little trade houses and put them out on the board. But having different pathways and everything, and the only one that I've not played in a long time is the fish market one, where you can collect fish and cash them in for certain goods. And I don't know why, but I really love that expansion, but just haven't gotten around to it. Now with Salsa, Concordia Salsa, I will never play without that. I love Salsa. I love getting the extra tiles depending on how many cards you pick up at the end. I love the salt, which is a random resource. You need that too. It really helps the game move along. This game is super smart. My gaming group has really gotten into it now, as you're choosing the right cards you want, playing cards, trying not to pick up your hand too early, because you want to get as many actions as you can, because on one of your turns just picking up your cards doesn't seem to be good enough. It's almost like wasting a turn, but you need it. So a lot of the times I've really, and the thing is, the way the deck comes out, the cards come out differently. You can have a different hand and have a different strategy each time. So for me, this game's a win. Of course, the gaming group loves it too. And I was told by BGG, hey, if you like these games, then you'll like Concordia. And I ignored that message for years, and now I'm hearing them loud and clear. Concordia was 87 last year when it first debuted. I try to be conservative on these new games, but no, it's a lovely game. So it moves way up to 65, well worth it. And who knows, maybe it'll move up more next year. But for right now, congratulations, Concordia, for the sophomore bump. Now, want to get into another one. It's been on my collection for 3 years now, and it's been steady in the top 100 here, but it's Encyclopedia. This game I think it got some buzz when it first came out. The company went underwater because they mass-produced this game, I guess, and didn't really sell as well. And it's too bad, because it is a smart game. You can score a lot of points in here. You're trying to collect these animals. You're researching the animals and inserting them into the encyclopedia for victory points. You're trying to get synergy around your animals, like all grass animals or all meat eaters, or what climate they stay in, and you're trying to focus on a few specialties there. And that's the game, because you can get studying them will give you some victory points. Of course, documenting them into the encyclopedia gives you victory points, but some of the biggest points can come at the end when you become the expert in certain areas, like plant eaters or Arctic dwellers or avians, reptiles or whatnot. And if you can really focus on, and there's tons of those specialties you can focus on, but if you can focus on about 2 or 3 of those and really build up cubes in that area, you will get massive points. This is one of the games you can really just move around the scoreboard on the last round. I like that. I like how the points slowly build up, though you're making points the whole time. It's dice selection. You're choosing dice from your player board or someone else's. The color of those dice, the pips on those dice. Sometimes you need low pip numbers. Sometimes you need high pip numbers. It's not always the 6 is the best one. Sometimes you're just looking for a 1, 2, or 3. The game is absolutely beautiful. It looks great. There's a friend of mine who has not played it yet, but she keeps looking at it every time she comes over, and I keep forgetting to bring it out. But she just loves the look of the game. And I do too. I think it's excellent. Now, I think the company who went out of business, I don't know if anyone bought them. I think someone did. I think they were talking about doing an expansion a long time ago. I don't know where that talk went. This is the board game world. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Either way, I don't think it needs necessarily an expansion. However, it needs to be discovered by tons more gamers, because I do believe this is an excellent game, and that is why it's number 64 on my list. At number 63 is a game I've had in my collection for 7 years now. It's a small box, but it's a big game. It is Celestia. Celestia got the What Was I Thinking award when I first discovered it. It was like number 176. I just played it a few times, put it back on my shelf, and forgot about it. And then we started playing it, and ever since then, for the past, 5 years, it has been a top 100 game. No doubt about it. Just excellent. It is so much fun to, you're rolling, 2 to 4 die and trying to find the matching symbols on the cards in your hand. Every turn, someone gets to be the captain. The captain may never abandon ship. So when you roll the die, it's a game of poker. You got to convince everyone that you have the cards. If you don't, because if they don't jump ship, if they jump ship, they get the card that's right there. But they don't get to move on if you did have the card. So you do want to have people jump out when you know you can make it. But if you know you can't make it, you want them to think, yeah, I got this. And so that they'll stay on the boat. And then when you reveal you don't have it, they all go down with the ship. And then the game resets. Everyone gets another card and you go again. It is very hard to get to the top. We got to the top in one of our games. It's only the second time I've ever made it all the way to the top. And it's kind of funny because you really do need to have, it needs to be a team effort. That is why the mini expansion, A Little Help, where you can play certain cards to help out other people, is necessary. And even the third expansion, I can't remember what it's called right now, but we've been playing with that a lot. I mean, I shuffle them all on the deck, but we've been playing with that one too, and it's really been nice too, and so I'll never play without that one too. In fact, I've shuffled them all into one big giant deck now, and we divvy out the cards. Even got the instructor promo, which lets you grab any discarded card from the discard pile, which I think is great. I don't know. I don't know if this thing got reprinted or, I think it did get reprinted. I don't think it was a remake, but just a reprint, just to put it back out there again. And people are looking at this like, oh, is this like a cutesy little game? It doesn't, small box, little cute artwork. Man, it's so much fun because it's basically a bluffing game. And whenever it comes out, we are playing this at least 2 to 3 times. This game's gotten a lot of playthroughs, like 6, 8 to 8 times we played this. Just because it's so easy, it can be very quick because you're trying to get to 50. But if you make it to the top, those cards are all worth 25, and that's half the game right there. But either way, Celestia, excellent game, my number 63. Number 62, Grand Austria Hotel. This was a top 10 game for the first 3 years, and then slowly it's been trending down since then. The expansion that came out, how many years has it been in my collection? 3, 6, 9 years. The expansion that came out years ago is a complete and utter dud. I'm probably not going to play with it ever again. I don't like I'm trying to think of anything I like. Well, I like the starting abilities, maybe, and the special powers, maybe, that you have on the little side tiles. And that's the only thing I play with now. Everything else, waste of time to put out. Champagne is way too hard. You get penalized. People do not care about champagne in the game. The ballroom dancing. To clear out the ballroom people to get the bonuses, you'll rarely put dancers in the ballroom because champagne is just so freaking hard to get. And so you'll never get all the bonuses or even half the bonuses on your board every time we play. And it was a sad idea to make an expansion that just doesn't pop. But the base game is fun. Of course, the base game does need something else to it, I think, to keep it fresh. But basically, you are serving customers. Once you serve that customer, hopefully you've booked them. It's dice selection. When you select a die, how many die that are in that pool of 5s, 3s, 2s, 1s, whatever, gives you the strength of the action. You're getting 2 actions per round, and the rounds go pretty fast. The game has its own. I will always play it. It is a comfort game at this point. I love bringing it out. You know, it's not a hassle to set up. It's very simple. Everyone at this point in my gaming group knows how to play this game, so I don't have to explain to them again how the rules work. And you get comfortable. There's a lot of games like that, of course, in the top 100, now that I think about it, that we're getting comfortable with. Still a few that I still have to explain to people from time to time. But Grand Austria Hotel has been around for so many years that my entire gaming group knows how to play it, and it's just so much fun every time, every time. All right, so number 61, finally, has been in my collection for, what is this, 5, 6, 7 years? 7 years now. Always a top 100 game, and it is Coimbra. Coimbra is dice selection. Of course, the number of pips on that die determines whether you go first, but getting the highest die isn't always the best because you're going to be paying the most in resources, either coin or guards, depending on what card you're getting on that row. Now, the color of the die also matters later on because you'll be going up those tracks or getting rewards on those tracks where gray, I think, is guards, orange is more coin, purple is travel, which travel can give you a lot of bonuses in the game, and then the green is just straight up victory points. So whichever dice you get, the color matters, the pips matter, and the game just flows. It flows perfectly. It uses iconography in the right way, something that's not too confusing. Everyone can understand how it works. It's got the A, B, C, D, E on the letters to let you know what order things go in, just in case you forgot. And every time we play this, it has been a close game. Sometimes I do not win. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I got... the last game we played, I got blown out of the water. I just was striking out. Everyone was grabbing the cards. Because I want to get the lower die because I don't want to pay that much in resources because resources can get tight in the game. But just so happened that the other 3 players we were playing with were grabbing every single card I wanted. I could not believe my odds. There are some good cards. I went, oh, look at this card. No one wanted it. I didn't want it either because that wasn't my strategy. But either way, and the cards you get, what color they are can move you up certain tracks as well, which also matter because at the end of the game, whoever is up highest on each one of these tracks will also get victory points. Now there is a little mini expansion called Royal Treatment, which just has like a dice box and these like bales and these halvesy die. I'll be honest, this year I never even brought it out because maybe the bales was okay. It's just a way to get in-game points. That wasn't so bad, but the halvesy die, you know, to get either or, I get it because it's giving you more options on, you know, what you want to choose, which track you'd like to choose to go up on or get rewards on, I think. It's been a while because I haven't played it this year. But it just wasn't being utilized. I think most people really didn't care. So I just, you know, not got rid of it, but it just didn't bring out Royal Treatment at all and just played straight Coimbra because it's still fun today. And like I said, it's been bouncing around my top 100 for a couple of years now, so that shows you the quality of that game. All right, folks, that is it for now. Hey, come back next time. I'm going to give you my top 60 games of all time. I'll see you then.